It's an episode of State of Play Reacts, Link Wakening Up, and Goose Games.
Oh man, I can't wait for this State of Play stuff. I've got some thoughts on it, eh?
You got lots of thoughts. So stay tuned with us here on Hack the Dino because we are going to talk about that and games that desperately need a remake. Welcome to Hack the Dino Critical Path. We are Hack the Dino and this is our fortnightly games news talk show. What happened?
Anarchy and shooting.
This is the 80th time we've done the Critical Path here on Hack the Dino, where we have news topics, Kojima Watch, and rounding it all up with Dan versus the World. I'm one of your hosts, Ben Rosenthal.
And I'm the Dan McGuinness.
Dan.
Yes.
Did you know that most of the time we are on YouTube over at youtube.com/hackthedino?
We are on YouTube. We do a whole bunch of stuff over on YouTube, stuff like this, and also streams and all sorts of shows.
We also do the very same thing over on twitch.tv/hackthedino.
Hello, Twitch.
You can subscribe to us there or follow us there, as well as on YouTube. And if you don't have any eyes or just don't like the sight of my face, totally get it, you can listen to us with your ear holes over on SoundCloud, over on Spotify, over on iTunes. While you're there, drop a review, leave a like, and all those things which help us grow. Dan, it's been a very busy week in the world of gaming.
It has. Let's just also say hello to everyone in the chat, on the live chat right now. Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, you can head on over to YouTube or Twitch and join in the conversation. Whatever that may be. But it has been a very busy time for video games this past month. September 20 seemed to be the epoch point of everyone deciding they'd release this year. I was quite surprised with something that you picked up.
What?
Link's Awakening.
Oh, yeah.
So we both got Link's Awakening on day. Obviously I did, being the Nintendo tragic that I am.
What we've been playing.
Brayden
just decided to come on in with that title.
Well, we already came into the segment, so...
That is true. You didn't wait.
Yeah, but I'm the co-host, so you're wrong.
You're right. I am the host and you are the co-host.
Ooh.
Well,
Power play.
we'll see how many lines you have next show.
None.
Anyway, what have you been playing? Same thing as me.
Link's Awakening. We both did it.
Yep.
We both got it. Yeah,
Yep.
It was weird that I got it. I was just like, I've still got that fever of like Breath of the Wild that I want back. So I'm just being like, this might be the next one. You know what it is? It's
Yep.
not.
No,
It's not at all.
because it's a remake of a game that came out in 1993.
Give me the history. That was it?
Yeah. No, so the history is that Link's Awakening originally came out. It started as a side project because one of the developers who was on the Link to the Past game for the Super Nintendo, which came to critical acclaim because it's one of the best games ever made, decided he wanted to sort of see if he could port it over to the Game Boy, sort of on his own time. And one of the other developers was there. They too started doing something at the same time, so they sort of came together and just threw little bits and pieces in because it wasn't an official game. It wasn't getting greenlit. That's why you have Bow Wows in there. You have Shy Guys. You have Thwomps and all those sorts of things.
Thwomps.
And then, well, I meant Goombas, but I'm sure that, yeah, there is a Thwomp in there. So they played it and then it got greenlit as a brand new game. The only proviso being that Zelda wasn't allowed to be in it, Ganon wasn't allowed to be in it, the Triforce wasn't allowed to be in it. And
That's why he wakes up and he goes, Zelda? She goes, no, my name's
Marin.
Mark Maron.
So this is a very beloved game. This
Not
was it really pushed the Game Boy to extra heights with just the scope and the ability of what you can do. It is a very small area, which is why Link doesn't run a lot in this game. I don't know if you've noticed. There's no run button. You travel at the same speed because they want to make
kind of annoying,
the world seem a lot bigger than it actually is. Now, the original Game Boy version was remade for the Game Boy Color, and then, of course, remade now into this brilliant game that both of us played. But anyway, what have you played of it and like of it?
It opens up with... Brayden, play the start of this video.
Start, alright.
The very start.
Here we go.
So it opens up with a beautiful animation cutscene. It's beautiful, like, you know, you can see the pencil lines.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
This was the teaser when it was announced.
Yeah. And you see there, and then like Link comes in, you're like, wow, it's beautiful music and stuff. And then it shows Link here on a boat.
Yep.
And he's like, ah.
This
Yeah,
was
look at those pencil lines, beautiful.
this is a remake of the original intro screen as well.
Oh yeah, and then it cuts to he's doing his stuff. He's on the boat, and suddenly a lightning hits him or something. Well, is that going to happen? Yep. A lightning,
I love
and then
lightning.
I'm like, oh, this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be rad. And then suddenly it cuts to what it really is, and it just looks all toy.
Yeah,
it really
it's
took me
great.
out of it, and I was like, oh, I don't know, yeah. But
Do you not like this art style?
it's okay. It just
It goes from anime to chibi.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And the little... That's... Oh, love it. It's fantastic.
I do
But,
love the like chubby little 3D characters. It's adorable.
Yeah.
But straight away, this game doesn't have a tutorial. It doesn't tell you where to go.
No, that's what a Zelda game is.
Nah, but this one was a little bit like I didn't realize till halfway through the game that there's a telephone you can ring and it tells you what to do.
Do you not go into all the houses in your hometown before you play a game
You
like
shouldn't
this?
have to.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to do the thing that you've just said would have helped you.
Gotta say,
Actually, I did go in there and I listened on the phone and it was just gibberish to me. I didn't know what it was talking about. I thought, what do you mean? Like,
Did you have the language in English when you
Yeah, I
started the
did.
game?
But it was just because it's all written in riddles. So I just went into a room, I took on a phone, it just said this riddle, and I was like, well, I don't, and it was about someplace, but I don't know any of the names of the places because the map's not open.
That's what you know. The best thing about Zelda games is
What?
it sort of drops you somewhere, and then it's up to you to go and explore. So one of the main things about Zelda, every game in the Zelda franchise is that you explore, and every game that's come out that's had Zelda in its name, the whole idea is that you go out and explore and discover. Did you go out and explore and discover?
Yeah, eventually I worked it out and how to do it, but it just you just didn't really have a goal at the start. There was no reason to do anything. It was just like, what am I doing?
You
Like,
had to go get your sword.
I went and got that
Yeah,
straight away.
yeah.
But then I was like,
And then the owl comes down and gives you where you need to go.
yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, eventually I worked it all out. But there is apparently, like, because my workmate has played this the whole way through, and he says right near the end, there is a bit where it just decides not to give you any clues.
Yep.
And it's just, to get through it, you have to go to a certain room that you've been to in the game before.
Yep.
No clue of how to get there. So you basically, if you don't know what to do, you have to go in every single room of the entire game and retread the whole game just to find this one room that a guy has appeared in.
Yep.
And he got quite angry at that. It sounds like it's all negative, but it's a great game.
It is.
It's a cool, fun game. It's just the story and the dialogue isn't very good in it. The dialogue, some of it doesn't make any sense to me. Did
It's
you
the
find
original
that?
dialogue.
Yeah, and I reckon they might have yeah.
So this is a complete remaster. They've completely remade the game in every way, shape, and form. Obviously, highlighted the graphics and made it run a little bit supposedly smoother. But the dialogue is the same. Everything is the same.
Yeah, it does have that problem with it does drop a lot of frames, didn't it? It'll probably fix that.
Yeah, well, see, I think it's actually a problem of the art style. I think that the way that they've chosen is so graphically intense, and the way it has to render all the light, because it's all got a very a sheen plastic type look to it. And I think the light rendering actually puts a lot of strain on the system. At first, I thought, I was actually talking to Ross as well, your business partner, and he thought it was to do with the cartridge and reading off the cartridge. The cartridge wasn't powerful enough, and that's why it kept dropping frames, something that we're very familiar with. But I have since had it confirmed that it is indeed the same on downloaded versions as well.
Yeah. The 2D parts, as you can see here, 2.5Ds.
Yo!
They're rubbish.
Yeah.
They're not very good. I
hate how floaty he is.
the jumping's
Again, in the original game, and he did jump like that.
Yeah. So the phone saved my life. The music is awesome.
Yep.
It's great. Like rejiggered versions of Zelda songs I heard in there. Like beautiful tracks, all beautifully done. He's got a red. I didn't get a red top.
Well, you haven't done that dungeon yet.
The skill tester was rad. That skill tester bit is awesome. I was picking stuff up, dropping it. It was awesome. I really, really, really enjoyed that bit. Those who don't know, and it's called, what's the shop called? It's something. It's like Awesome Games or something like that. The shop. So you go to that. I haven't even got to this bit.
Braden, skip this bit. It's a bit of a spoiler.
All right.
Go back to the start somewhere. Yeah, we go. And the one thing I felt it did need is that, you got your Y and X items up the top there.
Yep.
You really need to be able to pick one of them and be able to flick through your items a lot quicker, because I was constantly going into the menu, swapping them over.
And how do you think it was on the Game Boy where you only have 2 buttons?
Yeah, but this isn't the Game Boy.
But my point being, part of that original feel of that game is that you have to keep switching them in and out. Like on the Game Boy.
Trendy Games, it was called.
Trendy Games?
Yeah, that was the shop, the name of it.
So
Thanks, Floppy.
in the Game Boy game, you had to keep swapping your sword and your shield around with all these things.
Yeah.
So having 2 buttons there and constantly having your sword and your shield equipped, that was a pleasurable experience for me. So I too have been playing it. I've almost finished it. I haven't had time just to finish it off. I'm up to the last dungeon, I believe. But I remember this from my childhood. So it's very familiar to me. It's not one of those games that I played over and over again, so it's not etched in there. And I'm also old, so I forget a lot of things.
Get off my link,
man!
Are you Zelda?
The frame rate drops really do get to me.
Yeah, and it wasn't just leaving a room. It was like a lot of time.
It was going into a room for about, I reckon, sometimes up to 30 seconds. Just a frame drape. A frame drape. A frame drape. The old drapes. Link got a house, put up some new frame drapes, and a nice little sofa to have a snooze. But I'm hoping that'll be patched out. I'm hoping that they'll add to your Switch extra things.
They did it with Breath of the Wild.
They did show something here on the screen that I really liked, and it did make it a little bit easier. When you walk into a room, if you have the compass, there is a little tone that tells you there's a key in there somewhere. What I didn't like is a lot of the puzzles are gone, and it's pretty much go into a room, destroy all the enemies. So that
there was a fair lot of puzzles though.
Yeah, not as many as you're usually used to in a Zelda game. It's very much combat heavy.
I was lucky because I was streaming it, and I actually had Brayden helping me out. So whenever I got to bit I couldn't do, I'm like, chat, help me out. And they were posting pictures up.
I dropped a link from a IGN wiki guide to a photo on how which order to defeat some enemies in. It was weird.
It was good. It was a good stream. If you want to check it out over on our channel.
And one thing I did want to bring up is, how this game eventually was started to be made. The Dungeon Maker, which was the beginning of a Zelda Mario Maker type thing, until Nintendo realized that they couldn't do it. So the Dungeon Maker, you get these tiles for Dunpei, and you can then shuffle them around into your own sort of dungeon that you have to go through, and he also gives you dungeons that you have to
I did one of them.
You did one?
I did one.
Yeah, you do all of them, and you get another bottle. You get 3 bottles in this game, and that's 3 fairies. So overall, I really like this game, and I can't wait to play it some more. It's a fun game.
It's a good game. It's just it's not a great game.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's not Game of the Year.
Oh, it's nowhere near Game of the Year.
But I'm glad I have it. I was going to buy it anyway, and it's good just to have one of my favourite games from a kid to be remade like that. So we're going to talk more about games that need to be remade very, very shortly later on in the show. But before we get into that, I've been playing another game which also came out on the 20th. This one is by a bunch of fellow Australians, Brisbane game developers House, and I'm talking about the Untitled Goose game.
I didn't know this was Australian.
Yeah, this game is so good.
Yeah, it's only getting cracker reviews.
It is just so much fun. It's if Metal Gear was Snake was a goose. So Solid Goose.
Have you seen the bit where it's cause so you get objectives.
Yep.
And some of the objectives are so weird. One of them is make a kid buy back his toys.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, this one here is get the farmer wet.
But that's an easy one. One of them's get on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one, trap a kid in a telephone booth.
Yep. One of my favourite ones. Actually, not even one of my favourite ones. The first time I played it, I started doing some of the tasks, and you just went, you know what? I want to be an arsehole. So I just tried to mess with the farmer as many ways as I could. I'd get his trowel and put it in the bush.
Just like real life.
Yeah. And then I trowel lots of bushes. Then getting his radio, as you can see here, and then throwing it in the lake.
Oh, he stole his keys.
Yep, he's stealing his keys. The thing is, he does catch up to you very fast.
Well,
so
you're a goose and he's a human.
Yeah.
There's no way I couldn't catch up to a goose. If I was going to have a race with a goose, I'd win.
Geese are fierce, though.
These people
Not
are brave for running at this goose.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
Goose
You seen their mouths? You seen geese teeth?
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
Geese Teeth is the name of my high school band.
So this game was also #1 on the Switch sales charts for digital only. So that's a really, really cool thing for House to have happen.
I was thinking of streaming it.
Really? I think you should. because it's a great game.
And it's like it's only 4 hours, isn't it? Or something?
Yeah, it's very, very short.
You do it in a whole stream.
It's just a puzzle game, and it's just so much
It's
fun.
got a honk button.
Yeah, you can honk at everyone. It's just really fun as well to play as a Goose, because he's so nonplussed about everything. And you can just be an arsehole and you can't be angry at him because he's a Goose. Anyway.
But you are him.
Yeah.
You're never going to get angry at him. Look at him. Got your watering can. He is just like, he's like a naughty goose. He should have been called Naughty Goose.
No, well, it originally had a game name, but they just called it Untitled Goose Game to capture that market share.
Get out of there, Goose.
And you steal his coffee. Anyway, that's enough about Goose
I use the term goose as a payout all the time. I say, yeah, you bloody goose.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad. Look at him stealing my bloody rake, mate.
Brayden, news. Here we are at the news desk. We just had to run over from the general desk. I'm quite out of breath.
And put all the toys back on set them up again.
They came with us.
We have 4 copies of each toy.
That's right.
It's like in that little time bit. It's like Toy Story. They'll get up quickly and run to the next table.
True story.
Don't worry, guys.
Anyway, PlayStation. PlayStation had a state of play, so we thought we'd talk about a little things that piqued our interest throughout it. So the first thing that came on with the state of play was the COD Call of Duty, as some like to call it, not COD. Modern Warfare story mode. They didn't show any gameplay. It was basically just an animated film trailer.
Soap and his beard.
All right, I'm just going to put this out there.
That's a weird beard.
Yeah.
This is have they just done that thing that they always do? And there's already a COD Modern Warfare game.
Yep.
So, do you know about this?
Because I know about COD. Because I played the first Modern Warfare and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And like, is that the guy from the first one?
Yep.
Again, he was a great character.
Yep.
I thought he died.
So basically, what they're doing is they are remaking that original Modern Warfare.
So that's the one where you die in the nuke.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's right.
Spoilers.
No, it doesn't matter. Everyone's played it.
So they're taking the best parts of that, which is obviously them using the character of Soap McTavish, and they are basically putting it into a 2019 setting.
You're right.
Where, like, because obviously back when the first Modern Warfare happened, the wars of the world were very different. And now it's very different, so they've changed it up to sort of represent that.
Okay, so they've jiggered it.
Yes, it's a rejig.
That's the technical term.
Some of the in this trailer, some of the shots I couldn't tell if it was real. I thought it was real.
Yeah.
That dude's
There's some
face.
there's some shots that are mentally good. Like
I would say that they've acted this trailer out and almost rotoscoped it. With full body motion suits and everything.
Oh yeah, I'll play this. The first Modern Warfare I loved. It was such a good game. It was there's no doubt about there's no doubt about it that it was a solid, cool game. Look at him there. Did you see him? Look at his face.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, you're going to play
you're
it.
back, matey.
I hope you are looking forward to playing it on PlayStation 4 because that's the only place you can play the storyline mode for the first year.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
People are up in arms at that.
Bit of a handshake to the past. Floppy said it is.
Yeah. Oh, look at him.
This is the
catchphrase.
Thank you very much.
All right. I don't play COD games because whatever.
It's like cash on delivery.
Yeah.
Nah.
I don't play fishing games.
God. What are we doing? I've lost
Watam. We're up to Watam. The creators of Katamari Damacy, which was Watam, which was announced in 2015, and then nothing else was said about it until this state of play. Oh yeah, it's out this year.
So my theory on this game?
Yep.
I think you have to populate a world through friendship and being nice to the point where you have enough people to stack them on top of each other to get to the next planet. That's just my theory. I don't know what it's about. I'm just judging. Look at this thing. It's
so wholesome.
It's like you accidentally ate the whole sheet of acid and you made a game. Like
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Look at what was that? Rediscover Worlds? No.
Yeah, something like that.
Like vomits. Like there was. Did you ever play the other game? It's like Nobby Boy.
No.
And you were just a dog, and you could stretch out, and the object of it was to get as tangled in as many things as you could. It made no sense.
Katamari Damacy is a fantastic game, a classic game. This has got a very much the same feel, the same look, the same type of music.
It just exploded for no reason. And then it goes all dark into this bit, like, and he's like, hi. And you're like, hi. And he pulls out this thing going, Earth. It's weird. I've been waiting for a long time.
So is everyone for this game?
So you're gonna get this one, Dan?
No.
No.
Nah.
Really? You loved them.
I'll wait till it's free on the Epic Store.
Oh, way to support creators.
Oh, I don't know, man. Like, I love Katamari Damacy. The music's amazing. It was great back in my childhood, but I don't think I'll play it again. Like, yeah.
No. Okay. Do we have any
think
footage? Sorry, Brett?
Floppy in the chat just quickly with a little update on the COD exclusivity thing with PS4 and everything.
Yep.
It is apparently just a multiplayer mode called Survivor.
Oh, really? I thought it was the single player mode. I could be wrong on that.
Mm.
I thought it was the single player mode, but it may be that is that
I just
one.
So
assumed
it's
you're
like
wrong.
it's a certain game mode, but it's not like
Game
the whole
mode.
game.
Super Mario.
And we've just
Mary J.
had that backed up. So I
Mary
was
J
wrong.
says it as well.
So do you know what I say?
Back to the drawing board.
Good thing I'm not a journalist. Do we have any footage of Arise?
That we do.
Okay, you wanted to leave this one in, Dan.
Yeah, so this is I actually cut the start off accidentally. This is basically a game where you start as a Viking man and you're dead and you're floating on the river. They're burning your body as they do, and from what I can tell, I haven't read anything about it. It looks like it's your ascension to heaven. Like you're walking from a place, you wake up in the snow, and you have to walk to the mountain to get to your Valhalla. No, where do they go? The Vikings.
Yeah, Valhalla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's your ascension into.
So you're on a journey.
Yeah.
Some
So
may
this
say.
this looks like a beautiful stream game. One of those you can finish in one day kind of games,
Yep.
like 5
One of
hours.
those chill out games.
Yeah. So I'm excited about this one. I'll probably give this one a go.
Sounds like God of War and Journey had a baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or something.
Yeah. Speaking of babies, Braden, you would have been a baby when Medieval first came out, wouldn't you?
That is an accurate statement. You are correct.
So there's a demo available. They showed some demo footage of the new Medieval remake. Lots of remakes coming. It's almost like nostalgia's worth money. You can play this demo, which is separate from the game, and claim an item called Dan's Helmet. And you can
No
use
one's
that-
no one's touching Dan's helmet.
We know. No one would want to. That's
What
a
do you
pus.
mean?
Oh.
Us? Come on. Maybe warts.
You
but
can
not
use
pus.
Dan's Helmet in the game.
You can.
So if you're playing the demo, you can get up, you can grab Dan's helmet, probably only with one hand. It's quite small.
Oh, it's a physical item you get.
And yeah, it's a big physical item.
Oh.
And you can see it there on screen, Dan's helmet. It's
It's
blue
in-
with a little bit of line down the middle.
There's a slit in it as well.
Yeah,
you
there
can
is.
see.
Yeah, it's a little helmet. So you get that, you take it with you into the
I think
game.
it's pretty big.
And no, it's smart. Tiny.
Big enough to go over a man's face.
No, he's not a man though.
Big enough to go on a man's head.
It's skeleton though, and skeletons are classically very, very small. Small helmet on Dan.
Dan's helmet.
Anyway,
it's huge.
I like it when game companies do this. Last one I can remember is Pokemon X and Y. They released a demo, and you could go into the demo and get items. You could get Ash's Greninja, which you could then port over to the game and use that really OP Pokemon to walk through a very, very simple and baby game.
Baby game.
These demos.
After Party.
Oh, this looks great.
Yep.
Can we there's no footage.
Oh yes, this looks amazing.
From the makers of Oxenfree.
Yeah. So this is basically a game where you play a guy and a girl, and you've done something, as the guy did something, and you got them killed.
Yep.
And they've gone to hell.
Yep.
And you basically, the premise is that you find out a loophole of hell that if you out party Satan, you can get out of hell. And it's about you taking on all the party gods of hell.
Oh, is that what it is? I thought it was
So
you're,
you have to-
you're reliving parts of your life.
No, yeah, or it may be, but you have to out drink all the 7 demons of the hell stages to out party like Satan.
Right.
Break out of hell. You've got one chance, and it's all about. It doesn't look like it's got a very constructive message for proper drinking. Like there's a lot of like,
Do you know the story
look,
behind
it's time to out party Satan.
the developers of this game? This is their very first game. They were a pair of marketing guys, and they just got sick of the marketing world, the toxicity in it, so they went into game development because that's a happy, fun place for everyone. And they made this game, and this is their first game.
It looks so hot.
It looks
Hey.
amazing.
We've just had a comment in the chat saying, "Oh, so this will be banned in Australia then?"
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, I
totally.
don't know though. If there's anything Australia's like doing, is drinking, and
Yeah, but don't tell anyone about it.
it's
no way.
Satan.
Yeah, okay. And then on to the big granddaddy of them all. They showed us Last of Us 2 trailers, cutscenes, gameplay. This was before
I didn't get any gameplay
game-
footage. I could have done that full
It's
screen.
within it.
It's within it.
Are we allowed?
Game journalists actually got to play 2 levels of this as well. Firstly, this game looks absolutely
Horrifying.
gorgeous.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
And scary as hell.
scary. Oh, yeah, especially for you,
Scary.
Braden. But this game looks brilliant. Ellie looks fantastic. She's 19 years old. I think it's 5 years have passed since the last of Us.
Yes.
And the trailer had us.
Oh, God.
Well, I don't know. What could you get from the trailer, Dan? The story.
So first up, it went to the snow thing, and I was like, here we go. Just like,
fog.
yeah, fog, going through, trudging, Red Dead Redemption 2, and I was like, yeah, cool, you're going to go to the thing, you're going to take people out. By the end of this trailer, I was so invested in it. I was like, actually feeling like slight teary emotions of how full on this trailer got by the end. I was like, yeah, this is sick. Like, this is like, you know, this bit here, which you can't hear, and it's great. It was so horrifying.
Why do you think? What do you think was happening there?
I think they're murdering her girlfriend.
Yeah, I think that's what they want us to believe. I
Yeah,
don't think
maybe.
it's that at all.
And then that shot of a young girl all beaten and bruised and stuff, and
Yeah, that's
there's
crazy.
stuff happening, and it just keeps amping up, and it looks great. And you just look at her tats and stuff now. She's
This
gone.
city looks gorgeous.
Like everything about this was like, I was like, oh no, I haven't got chilly willies from a game in a while.
Yeah, I watched this again just before the show, and I also watched the documentary that they put out, the
Yes,
behind the
there was
demo.
behind the scenes
That
of
was really, really good. Again, they the way that they're speaking, they're trying to make it seem like Ellie is out for revenge, that her girlfriend got murdered, and that she's out to take out all these guys.
They actually say that in the trailer though. She goes, I'm gonna.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, look at these bits that are all happening here. Like at the end, I was just
This
like,
reveal, hot damn.
I didn't think it was much of a reveal. So,
I liked the scenario of that they're in though.
do you know why it just wasn't much of a reveal to me? Because I thought the first guy that was in it was him.
You know what? I've got a theory. Joel isn't actually there. I reckon Joel died, and this is her psychosis with the amount of stress and
This is
stressful
her
situation.
This is her John Wayne, like in Preacher, to Jeffrey
Bit of
Custer.
a Batman Arkham Knight Joker.
Yep. I don't think that Joel's actually there. I think
Is that what
he's-
happens in Arkham Knight? Damn, I was about to play that.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Well, no, because at the end of City,
Thank you for the host, Artie.
did you play City?
No.
Okay, well, the end of City, spoilers for City,
What are you doing, Ben?
Oh, I'm just waiting till I can talk. Go for it.
Joker dies, and then in Arkham Knight, he appears in Batman's psychosis, just joining him along for the adventure.
What do you want to say, Ben? You back?
I don't know. Can I talk without being cut off?
No.
All right. We'll go to next story.
Next story.
Trouble.
No. What did you think of the whole thing?
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
It's
the whole
alright.
kit and
I don't
boodle.
think these, what are they like? What is Nintendo Direct, State of Plays? I think they do them too often.
What?
Don't they do them too often, you think?
No, not at all.
And they do them like 3 or 4 a year?
Yeah, they're great, and they're 16-minute things, as opposed to waiting all year for a E3 show where they have to spend thousands.
Like I said, I hadn't really thought about my comment.
Well, we come to expect that from you, Dan.
Fair enough.
No, overall, I thought that it was, besides the Last of Us stuff, it was all pretty meh. Like, we had some
It really
announcements
was.
for VR games.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about the VR one.
Yeah, there was nothing big, nothing really meaty apart from The Last of Us. Everyone wanted to see Last of Us. You could have, I reckon, made just a 10-minute state of play just focusing on Last of Us and had the reveal of all the packs and the special editions and talked a little bit about them. Either way, Last of Us is going to be, pretty damn good, and I'm going to say that it's going to be hard to top for Game of the Year so far. 2020 Game of the Year. Calling it now. Actually, I am calling it now.
I don't know if a number 2 can be Game of the Year. Yeah, it can.
Yeah, it can. Of course it can.
It's making one of my outlandish statements.
Didn't Portal 2 win?
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That
it did.
was a good game.
Yeah. All right. So PlayStation have come out with all that really cool stuff. Some meh stuff.
Two
some
cool
really-
trailers, a lot of filler. That's what Floppy said.
With Christmas just around the corner, Xbox is also releasing something. This.
Oh yeah.
So PlayStation and Nintendo have come out with their own state of plays and really cool games that we can't wait to talk about. And good old Xbox are just releasing that.
I love that it's called the ugly Christmas sweater. I'm like, yeah, you didn't have to put ugly in there. It's obvious.
No, that's the whole name now. That's the whole gimmick.
Oh, ugly
that these
sweaters.
things have,
Yeah. I've got one. I got
Yeah,
a
I know.
Street Fighter one. And
So,
it's knitted.
Can't wait for that next-gen battle. Really, though, Xbox are just treading water until 2020 and they can release the Scarlet. On to some different news now, and corruption in the world of Australian esports. There's been an investigation into corruption after a Counter-Strike Global Offensive Championship esport on February 27 had allegations of match fixing.
See, this was always going to happen.
Yep.
When there's this much money involved in any sport, there's going to be shonky dudes. Well,
esports now are worth a total of $1 billion US.
Only $1 billion, eh?
Well, it's all a very young and up-and-coming game thing. What's the word I'm looking for? Area.
Yeah.
Thing. Doing that with my hands.
Don't sit like this.
Anyway, so it happened during the ESEA Mountain Dew League. I just love the fact that an esport thing's by Mountain Dew. So it's going to happen. It happens everywhere where there is money. It happens every time someone wants something. People will try to get stuff happening.
There's someone in the chat said if you get the Nintendo sweater, he'll trade you for some Nintendo goodies.
The Xbox sweater.
The Xbox sweater.
Yeah, Xbox sweater.
Truth be told, I probably got all the Nintendo goodies.
Yeah, it's true. Hello, Norsey. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
And one last thing that did also launch on the 20th of September was the Apple Arcade launch. So we're going to talk about more of this next show, purely because I haven't had time to delve in and grab it.
I love it.
You have, haven't you, Dad?
Oh, man. It's good. It's not, like, game-changing.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it might be, now that I think about it. The games still have a bit of a feel as phone games, though, if you know what I mean. Like, but there's some quality games in there. There's a one called Cricket Through the Ages, which is amazing.
Yep.
We will be showing that.
Yeah, well, next show I want to try and because there's 50 games out now, and I think there's going to be
75.
75 has gone up to now. They're going to have over 100 by the end of the month.
Yeah. So for people who don't know what it is, I'll quickly explain it.
Yep.
It's basically you go onto your Apple account, you join up to Arcade, you pay $7 a month, $7 Australian.
You may have to update to
iOS
13.
OS 13. So everything has to be on OS 13. And then you just go in and all the games are free.
Damn.
And every month they said they're going to put new free games in there. So there's 75 up there at the moment. There's 75 games. And they're all good. And they're all kind of like rip-offs of other games as well. So you've got games that are games that are like Zelda, games that are like all these other games, XCOM and stuff like that. But you've also got some really original games in there. And a lot of them, a big percentage of them are only on Apple Arcade. That's the only place you're going to be able to play them. And so it's like this Netflix of games. So you just go in there and you're just like, you're looking through it and then you suddenly realize, hang on, I can have all these. And it's really overwhelming. I got scared.
So there is a free month trial for you to try out those games. Then it costs $4.99 US a month. So it works out to about $8 a month.
Yeah, $7.99. Yeah. And for $7.99, if you divide $7.99, it's like 8 cents a game. And that's just the start.
And you can also play across devices. So you can play it on your iPhone, put it down, pick up your iPad, play it on there, put it down, go to your Apple TV, get your PlayStation 4 remote, hook it up to your Apple TV and play it through
so you can just hook your PlayStation 4, your Xbox controller straight wirelessly into it. It picks it straight up. And they're all set up for those controllers.
Really juggling as to whether I get an Apple TV for this or not. See, I run everything through my PlayStation 4, so I don't really think I need an Apple TV, but I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet, but we'll have more on that next show, as well as the games you need to play. Okay, it's time for the next segment.
Can I jump in?
No. Yeah, right. What?
But Star Wars.
Oh, where's that's not my show run.
Isn't it?
Yes, it is. I jumped over it. Hey, Star Wars is here, and they're back with a brand new war.
Star.
There's a lady Darth Vader, and she has a red lightsaber.
A lady Kylo.
And
she's a member of the Black Order.
A couple of weird looking alien guys, and a lady with really big eyes, and you
an
play as a
apprehensive Jedi.
Yep.
This looks great. This looks like it's going to be a kind of from what it looks like to me, it kind of looks like a God of War Star Wars game.
I'm I'm really on board for a single player Star Wars game again.
If there's anything they've done with the Star Wars video game world, if they have made the worlds look amazing in games, that as bad as that, Battlefront was, the worlds looked sick.
I really like the ideas, like you saw just before Catan walking through with his lightsaber almost as a torch. Like he held up his lightsaber and it illuminated the area, and he was walking through these catacombs, illuminating his way with his lightsaber. That's cool.
Yeah, those
Stuff
are
like that.
Those small in-world moments are so nice.
I love that Floppy hates Apple and he's just ragged on it.
How's this Rancor bat thing?
Yeah, half bat, half.
But look
owl.
at that. That looks very kind of like God of War-y vibe. You're running around, there's an enemy, and then look at this guy. This is what I found weird because usually the Empire only have humans in them.
I was just about to say that. The Emperor's a horrible racist, which is the whole storyline behind Thrawn and why he was so revered.
But this is so far past that. So Grievous wasn't human. What was Grievous?
No, he was. He was an android.
We're talking about some Sith.
Oh, was he?
boys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
The Sith boys, when they've got the I believe they're called the Black Order or
Yeah,
something.
the Siths weren't humans.
Yeah, a bunch of them in like Rebels and stuff like that. Some aren't human, so they're playing around with that.
Yep.
Just good.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
down
know.
for it.
I like a horrible racist emperor.
Well, you might as well. They're space Nazis.
They are.
So yeah, you have to innovate the thing. Make your enemies worth killing.
President Palpatine.
Yeah, President Palpatine. All right, now let's go on to the most important segment that you'll ever hear of.
I'm still
Oh, it goes way too long.
No, it doesn't, because it's got singing in it. It's amazing.
Time for Kojima Watch, where we here at Hack the Dino's Critical Path give you all the information of what our Lord and Saviour Hideo Kojima has been up to. He's been a busy boy this fortnight. Firstly, Death Stranding's gone gold.
Hell yeah.
So it's done. It's done. It's finished. It's ready to go. It's ready to roll out into your hand so you can put it in and play the thing.
What does going gold mean?
It means
As in
the...
they burnt it to a disc and they wrote on text that Death Stranding done.
Is it because it's like one of those old gold DVDs that you can burn?
Yeah. It is.
I thought
it really
That's
is.
legitimately
It only happened earlier today, so I don't have the picture of it, but there is a picture on Twitter of Kojima holding up the CD, and it is an old CD with it just written on there.
Strongest Warlord. Thanks for the follow, buddy.
Now... I'm sorry.
Wait, what's wrong?
Hideo Kojima answered the question of many people during the week who have been asking, what exactly is a Hideo Kojima game?
I thought you could say what exactly is a Hideo Kojima.
And this is what Kojima had to say. A Hideo Kojima game means the declaration of me doing concept, produce, original story, script, setting, game design, casting, dealing, directing, difficulty adjustments, promoting, visual design, editing, supervising the merch.
How good supervising the merch? And you're going to go to a Kojima con thing and he'll be there in the t-shirt stand selling the t-shirts to you. Oh, you want a Kojima? Here you go, mate.
It just brought back a lot of flashbacks to me at uni during a group project.
It's just got me back to any project that I work on, especially this one.
So Kojima does Oh, you found it. Good job, Brayden. There it is. There's Death Stranding. He's drawn a little hand. So yeah, Kojima does absolutely everything. From the coding, from the graphics, from everything. It belongs to him. That man, that's how good he is.
He's so good looking.
He's such an awesome person.
Except I think he's lost it.
What?
For Death Stranding. It's not going to be good.
Well, if you didn't think he lost it before, just wait until you cop an eyeful of this P-mote. Brayden.
Here we go.
What's a P-mote?
There's been an official announcement for a Death Stranding PlayStation 4 Pro console. You can see it here, coming up right now.
In the ad. There it is.
Ad.
He's creating it
the
from the
controller.
ether of...
That's the controller, and it's supposed to be the BB.
Oh, there's a baby in it.
No,
Oh,
there's not. It's just a
Damn
gimmick.
it. I would have been down for that.
So considering what you do to save in this game, i.e. take a leak, that is a pea-coloured remote. Look at it.
No, that's the ambiotic fluid.
No, that's Wii. That's normally
That
this
actually
P.
is. I saw ambiotic fluid get injected out of my wife recently, and that is the actual colour of the stuff that the
Norman
baby's doing.
Peters.
Did y'all watch the 2 40-minute things about
Y'all.
Kojima talking about Death Stranding?
Y'all did watch that.
I didn't watch it.
Blood and poo are so involved in this game.
Yep. So
Mary J said he lost it at Metal Gear Solid 3. I gotta kind of admit that, but I still love him
look, I
because
honestly
he did
think-
Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater.
I
Doesn't matter what he
honestly
does.
think Death Stranding's going to be a bit of a car crash. I think he's gone too far. As I said, it'll sell astronomically well. Whether it's a good game or anyone understands what it is, that remains to be seen. We will get another game out of it. He's developed a new genre. So this man is
People trying to develop genres.
Pee and walk.
pee and walk.
It's a pee and walk.
It's a pee and walk with
Pork.
Norman Peters.
Pork.
Dan, thank some people.
I will. I'm going to thank the Patreons, but not in this screen. Yeah. So, we've got a Patreon for anyone who wants to, support us a bit more heavily.
You may have noticed the Patreon's been a little quiet recently. That's because we've all had a lot on.
I had a baby.
Yeah, Dan had a baby by himself, like Kojima.
Butt
He
baby.
produced it. He directed it. He's in charge of the merchandise.
I held it.
We've all had very, very busy. Braden's been busy with his uni studies because he has a career ahead of him that's bright and colourful, unlike us. And I've got a business and training that we've been busy. But we just had a talk just before. We are bringing Dino More back for the Patreons. It'll be a half an hour show once a month where we just talk nonsense. So if you want to grab an eye full of that, it's going to be out in podcasts, it's going to be out in VOD. You can join us over on patreon.com/hackthedino.
And we're just going to thank our Patreons now. So thank you to Freakchild, to Henry, to Luke, to Sam, to Todd, to Tommaso, to Ash, to Karen, and to Ashraf. Thank you so much, you guys, for supporting us over on Patreon. We really, really support it. Supporting us with money, that is.
Yes,
Money.
yeah.
Money.
None of this positive force
Money to
crap.
make stuff. None of these people in the comments.
Yeah. Wow! And 0.
Carlin Bard, what does he say? The promotion of Death Stranding is the game. Kojima has been playing us for years. It's amazing.
That's right. We are in Hideo Kojima's game. This is Death Stranding.
The game of life.
All right, Tots. Pokemon!
Fucking love that.
I'm going to do it every time. Okay, topic of the show, 10 games that need a remake. Now, we've had a lot of successful remakes in the past couple of years, with Link's Awakening, the most recent. DuckTales Remastered, which was an absolute pleasure and a joy. Resident Evil 2, which will most likely be Game of the Year this year. Shadow of the Colossus, which was a beautiful remake, amongst many, many others, being very, very...
Half-Life. Black Mesa,
That's not official.
still good.
Well, yeah, okay.
Was Resident Evil 2 this year?
Yeah, started this year.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yonks ago.
So it shows that they're not just cash grabs, that that game companies are they're cashing in on nostalgia, but they're also wanting to re-up the gaming experiences of the past successfully. So Dan and I have got top 10 or 10 games that we think should be remade, and Dan's going to kick it off.
Yeah, so first up, I think they should remake Parasite Eve. Does everyone remember Parasite Eve?
No.
You don't? Let me tell you about it.
Okay.
So it was originally, I think it was supposed to be a Resident Evil game on the PlayStation 1, and then for some reason, it didn't get done, and they bought it out. This game it's got the grotesqueness of Resident Evil with like mutating rats and stuff. It's got, it's an RPG. It has everything. It has like the full the menu styles of a Resident Evil game, because it was going to be a Resident Evil game. It's just a great game. They did Resident Evil Parasite Eve 2. Wasn't quite as good, but this game is like solid. You know, this is one of the PlayStation 1 most solidest titles, and I'm really surprised that they didn't do another one. And so this game, if you remade this game, it would be mental. Give it an RE2 makeover.
So that's how you'd want to see it? You'd third person over the shoulder
Well, the
shooter?
thing is, it's even though it was supposed to be a Final Fantasy game, it's all in real time-ish, kind of, you can see. And
Final Fantasy
it had like a Fallout VAT style to it.
Resident Evil, so yeah.
Yeah, confused me then. I thought, what?
But like it
Some
kind of
grim
like
Final Fantasy.
yeah, through the RPG. it doesn't play like, the turn-based RPGs.
Yeah.
It was like, you're moving around and stuff.
Actually, that's what I found. You're moving around and you're aiming and then deciding how many bullets you want to put in there.
Yeah, it's very Fallout when you had the VAT system and slow down time and stuff.
So you can, do stuff like that. So it starts off with like, the best thing is the opening is amazing. The opening is, I don't have it in this video, but you go to the opera and you're with your boyfriend. He's a drink of water. You're watching the opera and the opera lady's singing, and suddenly everyone on the stage that's not the opera lady bursts into flames, and then people in the audience start bursting into flames, but she just keeps singing.
Sounds hot.
Through the whole lot. And then you've got you are Eve, even though your name's not Eve, and it awakens in you this power. So you get this power, and as you go through the game.
The power of the Eve.
But
I get quite sleepy.
Yeah,
Have a
beautiful
good dinner.
game. Definitely needs to be remade.
Bit of a snooze.
Definitely.
Okay.
Hello, Salamander. Thank you for joining the stream.
My first game that I want to see a remake of, Conker's Bad Fur Day. And here we have the classic scene where Conker battles against a giant poo who sings the opera while throwing toilet rolls at you. No, you have to throw toilet
The
rolls
first
into
two
him.
games have opera themes.
Yeah, well, aren't we cultured with our singing poo? This game's really, really cool. So when Conker was first announced, and because Conker's first appearance was in Diddy Kong Racing, and he was this wholesome character.
I didn't
then
know
he
that.
came out on a Game Boy version, not Conker's Bad Fur Day, it was another Conker's game, and it was basically just another 3D platformer. Wasn't that interesting. Then this came out, which is why it didn't have a lot of sales, which is why it's so sought after now, because people didn't realize that it was this really
Adult game.
adult, crude, like they do a Saving Private Ryan
Yeah.
playoff where like teddies, teddies.
Throw dunny rolls at him.
The enemies are called teddies, spelled Tediz.
Amazing.
This game was great. It was great. It was funny. It had full of callbacks to pop culture. Like the very last boss, you're up against an alien, a giant xenomorph, and you get in a giant yellow crane thing, and you have to get it and throw it out. The best part I remember is in this final boss when you're fighting, if you don't know what to do, constantly there's a warning message going over the loudspeaker going, warning, 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 warning. And then if you don't do it in enough time, the warning voice changes to grab the alien and throw it out the window.
Yeah, like just telling you what to do.
It may or may not swear. I can't remember, but there is swearing in this game as well.
Yeah, that'd be a good. This would be a good one. Give it the medieval treatment.
Absolutely. So I'm really, really hoping that we do see a Conker's Bad Fur. And Xbox and Nintendo are playing nice now, so we might actually see it. Conker for Smash. You heard it here first. Dan.
My next one, Silent Hill. Silent Hill needs, number one, needs a complete remake.
Was that what Silent Hills was going to be?
We don't know. We can.
What is going on there?
You're in the school.
That's not Dan's helmet.
They're kids as well.
Oh.
Silent Hill needs a complete remake. You can see here it would work so well as a really nice remade Resident Evil 2 thing. There are a lot of petitions online that people have been wanting this game remade for a long, long time. And the first one, like none of this, second or third or another kid. This game really hit some scary notes.
Yeah.
Such weird, beautiful stuff. A new generation of people need to play this game.
And I think that's the main reason that we need these games remade is because we played these games when we were younger. He's got a shiv. We played these games when we were younger and had such a great time with them. And I think it's only natural that we just want to, pass it on, let people experience those types of things. Sure, they could make new games, but, go for the cash.
Oh, Mary J said, mine just going to be Resident Evil remakes. No, Mary J, you wait till my number one.
Oh, yeah, your number one's good. Okay, my next one, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader. This was on the GameCube. This was a fantastic Star Wars game. So the first level sees you flying, obviously, across the Death Star and blowing up TIE fighters and going in the trench and shooting down towers. There was a bonus level that I played time and time again where you were Luke shooting the TIE fighters in Episode 1.
Oh, yeah. Don't get cocky, kid.
And I played that music and it felt awesome. I was a massive Star Wars fan at the time. These games, these missions were fantastic. I used to be like, I craved it. This was when all the canon was all the books and the novels. So this was canon at one time, and you flew down and did missions and bombed Imperial destinations. You played as Wedge Antilles.
Wedge.
Yeah.
Good
Such
old
a good
Wedge.
name. I love Wedge.
Oh man, this is such a great game, and I just need to see it again. It needs to be back. They tried to sort of recapture it.
Ooh, remake it with VR.
I agree with you there, Link. Remake it in VR, absolutely. You can play something similar on Battlefront 1, I think, in PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, there was a VR experience they did, and oh my god, I loved it.
It was so good, eh?
Yeah.
It was like you're just sitting there, you're sitting in the TIE fighter, and you're looking around, and you're like,
X-Men.
"That's it." Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So good.
This guy.
Yeah, I don't
Goddamn,
know. I don't know my stars from my warts.
God damn it.
All right, what's your next pick, Dan?
I don't know. Siphon Filter. A lot of mine are PlayStation 1, I realised, but near the end of it. So Siphon Filter. You guys remember Siphon Filter?
No.
So Siphon Filter was on the PlayStation 1. It's a very crisp version of it.
It is.
Yeah. Someone's running this one on an emulator.
No, they're not.
This was just a really solid, fun game. You couldn't see your bullets. I know
Right.
that doesn't seem like anything now.
Mm.
Well, we have all games, but like back then, you always saw you're like pew, pews coming out. But this is a game where you're like, you can see he's like he's got a shotgun. Yeah, you couldn't see that. So this is like a Bondy kind of game, but you're like a special agent guy. You've got all these cool things you can do. You can taser people, and
It said Bondy. I thought you said bondage.
no Bond,
What?
Bond-esque. It was just a really solid, like thinky game where you could do stuff all different ways
I
and
love a good thinky game.
thinky game. It was just a really great game, and they made a whole bunch of sequels, like heaps of sequels, but they just really need to remake this first one.
So what is the siphon filter? Because those two words together don't make any sense to me.
I don't know.
Like
don't
just
think-
a funnel that you got stuck in someone's EK folder? Holding?
Yeah, he's just trying to siphon petrol out
Yep, that's it.
on
That's
a
the whole
Saturday
game.
night.
Yep.
Just go to Macca's.
That's right.
Yeah, really used to love this game. I like your running style, like what you look like. Like for a PlayStation,
It's got a lot of quick movement to it for a PlayStation.
and like he leans like really well, like with his like. I mean, some of it looks a bit whack, but like, what's he doing here? Arming missiles, doing things like your missions were like you're
Not
plonked
selling
down,
this game to
and
me.
it was you're plonked down. It was kind of like go do the mission. Like, go do this. And you had to kind of work out how to do it. You'd play the mission over and again. You're like, I'll do this, I'll do that. And, like, it was just good. Like,
Did you get a bit lost because there was no training montage?
nah.
No training area?
No.
No. Okay.
There was a training area.
Okay.
What do you mean?
My turn. A game that not many people played, but really, really deserves to be, is Blast Corps. I've spoken about this before on the show. It's about a nuclear weapon on the back of a truck is going in a straight line, and you have to save the world by going in various vehicles and bulldozing houses and everything out of the way. This was made by Rare.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was made by Rare. It's a really, really cool
It's
game.
a pretty fun game. So I can't get, like, the drifting in it.
Oh, the drifting was the worst. So it had vehicles. They had a vehicle where you
had
shot
the
out the sides. They had a giant robot that did rolled around and then did dragon uppercuts to blow up places. That's the nuclear war truck. There. Just a lady comes on screen for no reason. And then after you finish the main game, post-game, you go to the moon, and then you go to Mars, and then you go to Uranus, and you do different planets with different varying amounts of gravity. And one of my former friends actually platinumed this game. Platinumed it. I still think he's one of the only ones in the world to do so. I think you even go to the sun, maybe.
Ooh, Nazi said Ocarina of Time for Switch as a remake.
Yeah, that's a give me, though. What?
Done in a Breath of the Wild style? Wild Styles.
Well, it
Remember that
basically
game?
is.
I mean, movie?
It basically is Breath of the Wild. That's just refined.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, your turn.
What have I got? What's next? Apocalypse PS1. Does anyone remember this game?
Isn't he the first mutant?
No. This is a game where it's like
big lips.
it's like a shootery one. Heaps of explosions, heaps of odd things. Best thing is, the character's voiced by Bruce Willis.
Yeah, right.
So, full Bruce Willis, as part of the game, he's like, come on guys, come and get me! And it's pretty, we can't have the audio. But it was just a really good, solid, Bruce Willis. Someone said. Real good, solid, what are these games kind of called? Not rail, like a corridor shooter. This is the start.
The shooty
Lots
shooty
of
bang
explosions, lots of aliens. It felt like
20% health! That was great.
it felt
For the podcast listeners, he grabbed some health and it just came up entirely of the screen as a 20% health.
particle beam. It was very a la
Checkpoint!
Fifth Element kind of
Right.
thing when the Fifth Element came out. And it was smooth. It had real motion videos you can see in it here for the PlayStation 1. That was kind of a big deal. Gore, shoot things heads off, and it goes from like, it had all different views. So you can go from sideways scrolling to 3D to all these different things. It was just a good, solid game. The controls were good. Oh, he says it's a shooty McShooty, Floppy said.
Yeah,
That's
what about the comment just above that? That game was woeful. What are you doing, Dan?
Shut up, Mary J. Oh man, I liked it.
Oh,
It
well,
was a trust between this one and one. Do you
you're
remember
allowed
one?
to have guilty pleasures because the next one's my guilty pleasure.
100%.
100% health! Next game, Brayden, for me. Oh, these games were so good.
Oh man, I love these games.
I am, of course, talking about WWE No Mercy.
Ooh,
I don't know if you ever played any of these games, Dan, but they
I
were
don't do-
so good.
I don't do wrestling. I do like the crowd though. It's like a
Crowds
Mortal
in wrestling
Kombat
games?
crowd.
So these games, it was button combinations. Like you lock up by holding a button, and then by pressing sideways and another button, you might grab them into an arm bar, and then you might put them in a headlock and flip them over and do a suplex. But you could create your own wrestler as well. At the time these games came out, I used to make videos of our own backyard wrestling federation with my friends. King Kaiju was involved. He was called the Garbo. We used to make our own wrestling videos like stupid teenagers do. I once had a fluoro tube smashed across my back.
Nice.
Yeah, that stung. Anyway, these games were so much fun and such a really simple but involved storyline. After No Mercy, they went around to... he's getting some Dan's helmet there. They went to...
Oh, he's getting Dan's helmet. Look at him. He's getting Dan's starfish.
So yeah, you could create your own character. It had a really simple storyline. It was just a lot of fun. After this, I went to a different kind of formula for PlayStation and the SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain and all those types of things. I just wanted to come back and remake these because they were fun, even if they're junky graphics like this.
Floppy pay me out. Next one will be Die Hard Trilogy on PS1 for Dan. I was thinking about doing that. But I didn't. Carlin says that he liked one better than Apocalypse. You know what, Carlin? I reckon I did as well and I got them confused.
All right, what's your number one, Dan?
My number one, I want to see a remake with amazing graphics, the whole treatment of Maniac Mansion. The original Maniac Mansion. This game was so clever. Has anyone played it in the chat?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not in
Brayden,
the
do you
chat,
even know
but I
this
have.
game?
I think you guys talked about it once in a video a little while ago.
We did a crap game review of it.
There we go.
It's such a good game. You can play so there's all these characters you can choose from. You get to choose 3 of them.
And they are so stereotypical. It's hilarious.
Yeah, there's like a Poindexter, a surfer, a jock, a lady.
Lady.
And there was and each one of them could do different things. So just depending on firstly who you chose, it changed the whole way you had to play the game.
Yep.
And it was all about getting your characters, I'm going to put this guy here and this guy in this room and then go down with this character, press this button so that character can then do this, which will make this guy walk out of this door, And it was just this amazing game that as a kid, and it was so much exploration. And the fact that there were psychopaths in this game and crazy. It's like Resident Evil BioShock of 1992. You got these horrible family in this house that you're just always trying to get around and stuff. And then one of you might get caught and put in the dungeon. You have to work out how to get the other one out of the dungeons and doors a lot. It was such a good game. And they could remake this game. It would be so good. Oof.
You want it as a hard R?
Yeah, man. I want it borderlining X. I don't. Someone said, let's shoot Larry. Yeah, I don't want that.
No one wants that in the history of anything.
Leisure Suit Larry in 2019 is just a man getting yelled at.
Hey, VD. How you going, buddy? Thanks for joining the stream.
All right. Well, before we go into that, Link Cullen Bud in the comments said Nier needs a remake badly. Original had a small budget, which led to a rubbish gameplay, but amazing story. Now it can have Square Enix's budget, pushing a Platinum Games product. Guaranteed moneymaker.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with you there, Link.
Nier Automata is in my top 3 games of all time.
And it's still great. Speaking of top 3 games of all time, my number 1 is indeed one of those games. Now, we've mentioned it quite a little bit on this show.
Snake.
It's Snake for the Nokia 5110. No. Chrono Trigger. The best RPG of all time. I'm a story-driven guy. I love story. I love characters. These 3 on screen now, Chrono, Kairu, and Mal, are some of the most sweetest, most cherished characters of my teenage years. I bonded with these guys so hard. The storyline is amazing. I love time travel storylines, and they did this brilliantly. Now, they have technically redone this, not remade it, but redone it for the DS and for the PlayStation. They introduced anime cutscenes from Akira Toriyama, who we all know from Dragon Ball. Then a bunch of fans got together and started doing Chrono Resurrection a few years back, maybe even 10 or so years ago. And we can see it on screen here. It's a fully 3D rendered Chrono Trigger game. We can see Chrono walking around his house. It's
Is that all they did?
No, they did Battle with Magus as well.
No, I mean, this is all they made of it.
No, they did a couple.
The whole game?
Most of it. It got put a cease and desist put on it by Square Enix.
It's ceased.
Whatever.
Cease and
die.
Cease and die.
Stop it and die. But yeah, I want to see something like this. I really need to see something like this. Please, I'm lost for words. Just give me what I want. I'm on the internet.
Give me what I want on the internet.
Anyway, more Chrono Trigger, please. It'd be amazing. There's a little fox boy.
Aww.
Okay, Brayden, time for viewer questions. And if you've got a question in the comments and you're listening to us live, be sure to type it down below and we'll see if we can get to it.
It seems like there's a lot of chat tonight. I reckon there's going to be a fair lot of questions.
Okay, well, while we're waiting for the chat to come up with some questions, I've got a couple here from emails. I'm going through the email backlog. So if you've got a question you want to email to us, you can do so at hackthedino@hotmail.com. Or get us through Instagram, which is where I usually
Carrier Pigeon or GeoCities.
I really want a GeoCities site. I'm going to make it Hack the Dino GeoCities, and it's just going to be GIFs.
Floppy's still going on about games that need to be remade. He wants Wing Commander 3.
That game's awful. Mark Hamill was bad in it.
Is that what Mark Hamill one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matty Pryor asked, who is the dream guest you would want on the show? Dan?
Me? No, you.
Me? Okay. No secret. Greg Miller and or Brian Altano. The Up at Noon boys, there they are from many years ago. Greg has a beard now. Brian has less chins.
Very accurate.
They are, they're
heroes.
They're two of the influences of this show.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason why Dan, Braden and I all came together and made this show, because we really admire what they do. We really admire what they bring to the world of gaming, and, you know, we just want to be them. Basically.
Any good video game movie that you
Brian, I was going to say Brian's stripping off. Braden is stripping off. He's showing his Beyond t-shirt, which is where Greg Miller first came from. Greg Miller's the guy who pretty much started the podcasts, video game podcasts over at IGN.
Oh, yeah?
He also did Up at Noon originally with Brian as well. And Brian's just a wonderful person. He's a big Nintendo
Got a
man.
couple of quick ones we can just answer in the chat.
Yep.
Any good video game movie you want?
What would it be?
Video game.
Guys, remember, Sonic's on its way.
Sonic. Now, I want an Alex Kidd Miracle World game.
Probably could quite easily. I want a Chrono Trigger movie.
I want an Apocalypse one. What is a good game for Android only offline? I have no idea. I've got an Apple phone.
Fetch. So what you do is you get your phone and you throw it really, really far away, and hopefully it doesn't come back.
No,
Good game. Give it a go.
And we don't know. Sorry, guys.
Dan, who do you want?
My ones? Bring mine up. Braden.
All right, cool. They are coming up.
So mine are the people I want have got nothing to do with video games. I want Kevin Smith and or Jason Lee. Jason Lee, number one. I love his films. I love his acting, but I used
He's
to
hanging up on your wall.
Yeah. I used to follow him as being a skateboarder. Before I knew he was an actor, he was a skateboarder to me. He was a skateboarder that I really loved. He was one of my favorite skateboarders when he was in like the Video Days video and all stuff like that. So I was obsessed with this dude. I dressed like him for years. I wanted to be him, and I would still love to meet him. And then Kevin Smith, the guy has made like so many films that I still love. He seems like a friendly dude. Like he's always on podcasts and stuff. He'd be a great guest. He'd be a great guest for a podcast. He'd talk and talk and talk, and you'd say nothing. He'd just.
They're the best kind of guests. All right, I'm going to go get a cup of coffee.
Yeah, and I just reckon they have great stories, and I would just imagine that if I had both of them here right now, I'd just pretty much
you'd pass out.
I would hyperventilate, and my Dan's helmet would come out.
Another question from Norsey. Have you talked about Mario Kart Tour? No, because there's not really a lot to talk about at the moment. Besides, you can't unlock Mario or 200cc unless you pay the monthly subscription fee of about $8, I think.
We have talked about it before.
We have, but it's been released now.
Oh.
The steering takes a lot to get used to. It's really awkward. I don't really like it a lot.
Yeah, my girlfriend's been playing it a little bit.
Yeah.
And it seems very strange.
Yeah, it's weird. It's Mario Kart, but it's not Mario Kart.
Oh.
It just doesn't have that feeling. I'm not a fan. Maybe more about it next show after I've played it a little bit more. So Adrian Rigter? Riger? Oh, whatever.
Rigter.
What's a better animal, a goat or a wombat?
This is easy.
Easy.
Goat. Like internet videos, man, of goats screaming.
Yep.
And then you got Goat Simulator as well. I should have got a video of that.
Yeah,
I didn't think of that.
I'm surprised I didn't get that.
If no one's gone on the internet and ever looked up goat yelling, look it up. No, they're not. They all sound like humans. These. Stop that. Yeah, goats. Wombats. Kind of alright. I mean, they got noses.
Can I give one argument for a wombat?
Yep.
A wombat's butt is made up entirely of bone.
Mm-hmm.
So what it does, when a predator's chasing it, it goes into its burrow, and when the predator tries to sneak over its back, it crushes it against the ceiling and kills it.
Yep. But goats, when they need to poop, just go, and these pebbles just come out like marbles. So goats win again. All right. Any more questions? No. No one else. Are you guys going to PAX this year? Maybe some live streams. No, much like the Patreon argument, we've been slightly busy. Next year, we are planning to do it if we get enough Patreons to support us. But no, PAX is on the plans for next year. Hopefully by then, we've got a little bit more of a following and we can sort of get some interviews.
Or even if we don't have a following, we can just go there and do some like live streaming with our phones.
Yeah.
Show you guys, what it's like to have an espresso martini.
It'll be a fun trip.
In a different state.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, so PAX is on the plans for next year. Not this time round. And Alison Osborne says, or asks, you can only play one game for the rest of your life. What is it? I'm going to go with Street Fighter 2.
Yeah?
Purely because this is one of my favourite games. I collect Street Fighter games. And what I like about Street Fighter 2 is that you can constantly come up with new combos and new frame rate skips in order to get an extra hit or two in.
Yeah, right. Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
What was mine?
Snow Brothers.
Snow Bros.
I have no idea why you are the only person I know who's ever played Snow Brothers.
So I used to have an arcade machine that had Snow Bros on it, and at my house, I had a housemate, and we would decide who was going to do what in the house by who ever had the highest score in Snow Bros, and we got so good at it. My high score was pretty good. Like, it was up there. It was like in the 56 whatevers. But I learned to play this game. This game is solidly good. It's such a fun game. There's so much strategy. You can do every level you can do with like just one hit if you do it properly. Like turning one snowball, waiting for the exact moment when you have to do it, as you can see this guy doing here, and then done. And if you do that, you get these things that fall down from the sky, and they're worth big money, and that's how you get the big prizes.
They're worth big money.
Big 10,000 yen.
So this is the game,
and there's like so there's 50 levels to this game, and I have played this game so much, and I've never finished it. Like it's quite hard, but it is doable. Such a good game.
Okay, just before we move on to Dan versus the World, we've got one question from the live comments. Floppy asks, what would you like most out of next-gen consoles? Dan, what do you want?
Number one, I want two things. Number two, I want them to get VR right. It's still not right. It's there, nail it, but it could be better.
Yep.
Number two, I just want a bloody huge graphics leap
Like,
or
we
process.
spoke about this last show or the show before. The
Yeah,
leap between Dreamcast and the generation before it.
Yeah,
that
it was huge. Like, I want a thing that when I see it, I go like, I want to be a commercial, one of those 80s commercials. People's going like, I want to do that.
Dan wants to be so excited. Dan's helmet isn't just in the demo.
Dan's helmet
Comes
is,
out.
yeah. Oh, you can buy my helmet. You'll be able, everyone in South Australia will be able to see my helmet when it comes out. That's what I want. I want a large helmet viewing.
Dan versus the world.
Dan.
Versus the world.
Heyo. We're here. This is Dan versus the world. We still haven't done a screen explaining the rules, so I'm going to do my best. First rule is that Dan seems to have forgotten that people can hear what he's saying whenever the titles come up. Second rule is I have 3 songs. And they appear in a video game somewhere in history. I will play the first 5 seconds of the first song. Dan, representing Dan, will ask a question. Then it'll go over to Brayden, who represents the world. Back and forth they'll go until they've reached 5 questions, at which point they guess where that where that music came from. Which game? I almost got through a really good one,
We
man.
do ask people in the chat, if you do know what it is, please refrain from putting it in the chat.
Yep.
I've taken my glasses off, so I can't actually see the chat at all. I'm completely blind. That's
But
why I wear
Brayden
these.
cheats like a mother.
But
Whereas, yeah, I
Brayden
can
can
read
see it.
it
But please
so
do
easily.
not. If you know it, please don't say. You can
Brayden?
you can have some guesses if you need to. If you don't know what it is, but don't let.
Can you take your glasses off, Brayden? Will that help?
I mean, no, it's close enough that I can still read
Oh,
it.
dang. Okay, here we go.
What about
Song-
we blindfold Brayden? Put this on. Put this on.
Okay, yeah.
There we go.
Alright. Oh, there we go.
We're putting on the blindfold. Okay, so I'm going to play the first song here.
All right, that's
There
it.
you go. That's what you
That
get.
was generic.
Brayden, guess
Oh.
number 1.
What console was it on?
Sorry, what was that?
What console was it?
Yeah, leave it like that.
This particular version was on the Dreamcast.
My man, my dreamy man, my dreamy baby Dan helmet.
This
What-
can't
what-
be the new joke.
So
of the show.
what was the question? He's not doing it. He's off it. What was this? Who were you in it? What was the character?
You were a driver.
A driver?
A driver.
Oh,
Have we talked about it on the show?
Not this show, no.
Okay.
Hang on, who went first?
Me.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different.
Yeah,
Hey, Dan, question number 2.
play me some more.
Play you some more.
That's my question.
You're going to get the same again, because I took the cursor off.
Can you play it double? I want to hear more than this. I want to hear more. Come on. I know.
Oh,
I
really?
was waiting for that.
Brayden, question number
Damn.
3.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, what kind of character you play in this?
I don't think you actually see the character in this.
Okay.
There weren't many games on the Dreamcast that had Offspring as the music.
Ooh.
Was that Offspring?
Yeah, that's a riff from an Offspring song.
Oh, really? I purposely didn't choose the
Damn.
Offspring song.
Crazy Taxi.
Crazy Taxi! Dan is correct. So, Dan is up to 32. Brayden's on 33.
We can update this live,
Are
can't we
ready
now?
for this? We can.
Here we
You
go.
ready?
Y'all ready for this?
Do.
Didn't do it. Yes, he did.
Hey.
Good. Dan's on 32. The world is on 33. Okay, here we go. Song number 2. Carlin, be quiet in the chat. And there's
Wow.
your slightly problematic song for
That's
this evening.
racist, isn't it?
Oh, no.
Okay, Dan, question number 1.
What is the genre of this game?
RPG? RPG.
A
Go with RPG.
RPG. All right, yeah.
Brayden,
What kind of character are you playing this?
you play a man?
A mighty good man.
Yeah, I don't know. School's out. Dan, question number 2.
What do you do? What is it on? What console is it on?
Drinker.
Oh, you're doing it for me.
If
Calm
only I was
down.
born.
I can't. I love the dreamy.
Leave your helmet out of this. Brayden, question number 2.
What sort of enemies in this?
Sort of bad guys or Yakuza type people.
Okay.
Dan, question number 3.
RPG. So there's not many Dreamcast games. We can narrow this down pretty quickly. It's an RPG.
Yep.
And it's not Phantasy Star.
And it's slightly problematic.
Slightly problematic.
You fight the Yakuza.
You fight the Yakuza. You're a man. Is it Shemu?
Yes!
Oh! It was the only RPG on there.
Damn.
Okay, so we're tied up. 33 apiece. Dan is on 33. The world is on 33. Okay, here we go. The last song.
Better be Dreamcast.
Makes me so happy.
If it makes you happy, that's a clue. That's way more than 5 seconds.
All right, sorry. Dan, question number 1.
What is that on?
Dreamcast!
Oh, you're gonna full. I don't know what this one is.
Ooh.
Braden, question number 1.
What genre is this one?
It is like a fighting game.
Ooh.
Braden, no, Braden just asked. Dan, question number 2.
A kicky punch.
Yeah.
Kicky punch.
How many characters can you choose from? No, I don't know. Do you know who made it?
I'm gonna hazard a guess and say Namco.
Namco.
I don't know though. That's just a guess.
All right.
Braden, question number 2.
What sort of... Oh, wait. Is it just a fighting against the fighting people, or are they bad guys?
As in,
Some may say that you're the bad guy.
Ooh.
Really?
I
I must have missed that Hitler fighting game on Dreamcast.
I mean, I didn't think he was the bad guy.
See, I could guess.
Oh, really? You've got 2 more questions though. I don't think Braden knows, so you might.
I wasn't born.
Fair enough. What do you use weapons?
Only those that are on your natural abilities are weapons.
So you don't have swords.
No.
All right, yeah.
Well,
Well, then I don't know what it is.
no.
A fighting game.
Question number 3.
Are your natural abilities including supernatural abilities?
They're pretty supernatural, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So fighting supernatural game on the Dreamcast where you don't use weapons. And give me a clue.
Question number 4. Okay. A clue. I'm showing my T-shirt, which says Ultraman.
I can't read it.
It says Ultraman. There you go. That's your clue. Braden, question number 4.
I do not know these things.
I don't know. This is a Dreamcast game I don't know.
What was there a good lord, I'm trying to even think of a question now. I'm so stumped. The Ultraman bit threw me entirely. I was thinking it might have been something like X-Men or something. I don't know.
Question number 4.
Do you fight Godzilla?
Do you what?
Do you fight Godzilla?
You can do. Dan, question number 5.
I didn't realise there was an Ultraman game on the Dreamcast.
Careful. You're showing your Godzilla Ultraman ignorance.
I didn't realise there was a Kamen Rider.
Question number 5, Dan. Then you get a free guess after this. So.
What is so it was was it Namco? You think?
Possibly.
Possibly. Would make sense that it is.
A fighting game. What? I don't know. Like I've got nothing. What? Why? What does it start with? A letter.
A letter?
Yeah, the letter of the game starts with the word.
Oh, not Namco. Link, who's it by?
I see.
He's just letting us know in the chat. Starts with G.
G.
Braden, question number 5.
G.
Braden's just looking at all the list of Dreamcast
Yeah,
games.
that's right.
Dreamcast list games. Search, go down to G. Good lord.
Yes, you got it. No, it's not.
Let's go with. Where's this one set?
In Japan.
Whoa, amazing.
Right. General Games. Sorry, it came from General Games. Thank you, Link, in the comments. Wasn't by Namco, it was by General Games.
GM. Well, that's why I didn't know what it was the whole time. Now I know.
And his good son, Lieutenant Good Times.
Stupid joke.
I think we're both going to blunder this one.
Okay,
so-
we got a free guess. You've had 5 questions now. Take a free guess, Dan.
Is it Kamen Rider?
No. Brayden, free guess.
Godzilla versus Ultraman.
Very, very close.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. What is it?
It is Godzilla Generations.
Generations. Good. So the developers' initials are GG, and then the game's initials are GG as well.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Yeah.
What
Okay,
about
so at the end of that round of Hack the Dinos, Critical Path presents Dan versus the World. It's the official title.
Look at that.
We have got Dan on 33 and Brayden on 33.
Do you know what you didn't do, Brayden?
I just thought of it.
Didn't use any of my buttons that I
I didn't use any
made.
of the buttons. Oh man, they're great. Look at them. They're so good.
So we're all tied up here on the Critical Path.
God damn it. I'm still learning all these new things that Dan's made.
Take us out, Brayden.
There we go.
There we are. We really need an outro for that.
Come on, guys.
You're the one who didn't create the outro. Anyway.
Oh, so bright in here.
We have been Hack the Dino. This is our Critical Path, a fortnightly nonsense video game talk show where we have Kojima watch, we have Dan versus the World, which you just saw. Thank you to all of those in the chat. We really appreciate you stopping by and chatting with us. Dan, what's coming up on your stream over on twitch.tv/HackTheDino?
I was thinking of streaming some Apple Arcade or the Goose game.
Goose Game.
Or I was going to do some more Link, but I think it's over now.
Yeah, Goose Game.
Goose game, maybe.
Goose Game.
I
Goose
don't know if I
Game,
can
then
get
Apple
5
Games.
hours out of Goose Game.
You can follow us over on youtube.com/HackTheDino, where we have a lot more videos going up. Brayden has his nostalgia series that comes up. We have show clips coming up and some more stuff coming soon.
Beautiful, crisp, high-res versions of this show as well.
Oh, yeah, be sure to go back, watch, like, and subscribe. Also, follow us over on twitch.tv/HackTheDino, where you can see Dan stream weekly, and you can see us talk fortnightly.
And you don't see Dan's helmet at all. It's against the Twitch regulation.
Congratulations! And finally, if you only want to hear our voices and not look at Dan's helmet, you can have our audio-only podcast version over on SoundCloud and over on Spotify and over on iTunes. Man, this music's got me so hyped up. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, be Godzilla. Take us out, Brayden.